this is what we're going to be building. We're going to be building to-do list with pure JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. That's what we're going to be using. You feel me? This is just a tutorial. This is to show you how to build something like this. You can actually use something like this to build a real life project, but this is not a real life project. So you can master your JavaScript by building a project like this. You feel me? So this is our to-do list. You can actually write whatever we need to write or anything you need to add. To-do list is where you list out what you will do in future, your goals to be accomplished in so dates, the goals you need to accomplish in the future, or anything you need to do. For example, I wrote go viral on TikTok. This is a goal. Another goal is grow my YouTube channel from now till December. Another goal is grow my Telegram channel from now to December, and grow my Facebook page to 5K. You feel me? So you can actually add whatever you need to add here, and once you click on add, it will automatically be listed down here. You feel me? Then with the help of our JavaScript functions, our lists are being listed down here, and with the help of our JavaScript function, again, you can be able to delete lists. You feel me? So watch the video to the end so that you can learn step by step. I explained everything, every single code I wrote here. I explained all of them. With this project, you can be able to master your JavaScript. You can learn a lot from what I did here. So let's go. Now I'll create a folder and name it to do. I created the folder simply pressing Ctrl+Shift+N, and I create the folder, name it to do. Now I'll open my VS Code. So to open it, I'll use Windows plus R. I'll open it from command prompt. So I will say code space dot. This will actually open my VS Code. You feel me? So then I'll come here because I don't need to do anything in here. So I'll come to my file, then open folder. And if I click on open folder, it will prompt out my file explorer for me to select the folder I need. So I will select, I'll go to desktop and select to do, select folder. Now it will open my to-do list folder, the folder I created here. This is the folder. So in here is where we will add whatever we need to add, or build whatever we need to build. So this is the folder here. So for us to start, we need 3 different files. We're not going to be using any folder here. You feel me? So we'll create 3 different files, which is index.html, style.css, and the script.js for JavaScript. Then style.css is for styling, for us to beautify it like this. So we first of all write index.html. This is what we will use to structure whatever you are seeing here. All these things you are seeing here, this is what we use to structure them. This is the foundation of what we are doing. You feel me? So in here is where we will be getting what we need to add in our project. So I'll create the HTML file by simply pressing Shift exclamation mark, then hit enter. So let me explain this very quickly. Now, this doc type, it declares the document type and version of HTML. So we are using the version 5 of HTML. That's HTML5. So this doc type declares the document type and version of HTML. While this lang en, that's HTML lang, it defines the language of the document. We are using English here. That's why you are seeing en. So this defines the language of the document. Then the meta shall set UTF-8 sets the character encoding for the document to UTF-8. It is setting the character encoding. You feel me? Then the meta viewport, this is just it ensures proper scaling on mobile devices. If you mean what we are doing now, we are not even a mobile device, but once we switch to mobile device, or when we shrink the screen to fit the mobile device screen, our project will still contain the screen. That's the work of this. Feel me? So then our title should be to do. Let me say, let me use calculator. Should be to do lists. So we just set the title of our web page. It appears here, as you can see. This is it here. So this I'll link my CSS, but before that, let's create a CSS file. I'll call it style.css. Then in here, I will link the CSS by simply writing link. You're simply writing link royal style sheets. Then the href should be directing to style.css. You feel me? This is our style.css. Okay, so what else do we need? Inside our body, we'll create a container. We'll create a container like this. Then we will have our h1. Our h1 we have to do list. So we'll save this, run it. Now, what do we do? The next step is we will add our input. We'll add our input. Then the input, we have the type of text, then the ID. Let's add the ID. The ID should be to do input. Then we'll add a placeholder of add a new to do. Let's save it. These are inputs. Feel me? So here, add a button. A button that will allow us to add our list. Feel me? Then give it ID of to do. Or the ID, let's say add button. Then here I'll say add. Then we'll now create our list. Then we'll give it ID of to do lists. We leave it empty like this. We use JavaScript to add whatever we need to add inside here. You see how I do that. So what next are we doing? We come to our HTML. It's time for us to find this. Feel me? So I will narrow down every single thing I'm doing here. So let's add some basic CSS styles. Now let's change the pattern and margin of our body, h1, our UL, input, and button. So the margin should be 0. I don't need any margin. Also, yeah. So now let me comment. I'll call it basic reset to remove default margins and add it. Yeah, so then I'll comment here also how set a background. I'll set a background color and center the container. The container I mean is this container, like this div. That's what I will center. I'll make it to be at the center of our browser. So we call on the body and give it background color of white. Then I'll call the border radius. The border radius should be no. Let's first of all center our div. I will say display. I'll say display flex. Now flex it. Then to justify the content, it should be center. Then we align the items to center and give it height of view height. Now we have our container in the middle of our web browser. So the next step is let's style the container. Now we call the container by simply saying dot container. We are now grabbing this class name. Feel me? Then we say give it background color of white. Color of white. Then the border radius. The border radius should be 8 pixel. Then let's add the box shadow. The box shadow should be 0010 pixel. The red in blue alpha should be 0 0 0 0 0 1. Then the padding should be 20 pixel. While the width should be 200 pixel. Then next align should be center. And the beauty of our to-do list is now coming out. Feel me? So now let's type the input field. If you look at it very well, it's not well presented. Feel me? So let's type the input field. So remember, our input field, we used ID. We're no longer using the class, so we give it ID of to do input. So what do we do here? Instead of saying dot to do input, what do? We add number sign, which is hash. Say to do input. The width should be, let's use we calculate 100% width minus 22 pixel. Let's check it out. Okay, this is it. So we say padding of 10 pixel. Then the border should be 1 pixel solid. So 1 pixel solid light gray. So we add a border radius of 4 pixel, and we give it margin bottom of 10 pixel. I think we are good. Yeah, we are good with the input field. So the next step is to grab our add button, this button. So if we come to our index.html, we have ID of add button. So to grab that, we'll also use number sign. Let me drop a comment. Let's style the add button. So add the number sign, then call the add button. We'll give it padding of 10 pixel. give it background. Let me say 28A 745 green. Yeah. Give it border. We don't need any border. Then the color should be white. That's the test color. Then the border radius should be 4 pixels also. Then we need the cursor to the pointer, so that whenever we hover here, the cursor should turn to pointer. So cursor should be pointer. So if you hover again, now it's not pointing. Okay, so the next step is to change button color on hover. So let's change our button color. Whenever we hover here like this, the color will change for me. So we say button over, we give it background, color. Of darker green. So if you hover here, as you can see, the green is more dark than when we do not hover on it. If you hover on it, it's more darker than when we are not hovering on it. You feel me? So that's the next step. The next step should be, I think, let me check. Okay, let's start the list. That's to-do list. Let's start the to-do list. So we say start the to-do list. So we call the to-do list and say the list type should be none. Okay, we don't need any bullet points in our project, so we don't need any pattern also. I think we are good. Yeah, we are good. So the next step to take is to add our JavaScript file. So before that, we'll say script.js. So let's add our script.js here. For you to add your script.js, you must add it inside your body tag. At the very end, it should be the last element to add. So I'll say script. Now let me add the script externally instead of internal one. So now we have already automatically linked this script.js we created its file earlier. This is the script.js. So this we automatically linked it here. So whatever we do here, we automatically reflect here. We can grab something from here from our script.js. So we shall see how we do that. So what do we do next? I will also be dropping comments in our JavaScript so that you understand better. So I will say let's get references. That's the first thing we need to do. Let's get references. I don't know how to spell today. So let's get references from the DOM elements. So we declare a constant. The constant should be input. We name it input. Then we grab the to-do input. That's this input. This is it here. This input. This is what I need now. So I need to grab it from my script.js. So to grab it, I'll say document.get element by ID. So I'll grab the to-do input. In the next one, I will declare another constant and call it add button. I'll grab the add button, which is this add button. That's this green button here. So that's what I need to grab now. Then I'll say get element by ID. Then we call the add button. We need one more constant. That's the list itself. The list that should be displayed under this button. That's what I need now. So we call it to-do list. Then we grab the to-do list with get element document.get element by ID. Then to-do list. Now I think we've declared enough constants. You can actually add your own, but I think this 3 is okay for this particular project. So I will declare a function to create. I'll declare a function to create a new to-do item. So how do we do that? First of all, we declare a function by saying function, then our function name create to-do item. I'm using simple names so that you understand very well, understand better. So this is a function. Then inside this function, I will create a new list. So to create this new list, what can we do? We declare a constant and call it list item. Then this list item, we grab our document dot create element. So which element do we need to create? That should be li. As you can see in here, we don't have the list. Normally we're supposed to have our li here. Supposed to have our li here, but we don't need that. We do everything in our JavaScript file. So automatically we have created the li we're supposed to create here. We have created it using our JavaScript here. So what's the next step to take? We add the text to the list item. So how do we add this text? We say list item dot text content equal to text is the text. So we are adding the text that we type here to display under this button. That's what we are doing right now. You feel me? So what's the next step to do? We'll create a delete button here. This is where to create the delete button. Okay, so then this is where to append the delete button to the list. Okay, let me add to the list item. You feel me? So then after this, we say this is where to append the list the list item to the list. So how do we do that? How do we do that? So we say to-do list dot append shout dot list item. That's this list item. The text we type here, the thing we type here, we are appending it to the list item. The list item, this is the to-do list. So we are adding it here. That's what I mean by appending it. Like we are adding it here. So whatever we type here, once we hit add, it will be added here as a list automatically. That is as a li. So in here, what else do we need? We will say we come here for us to add our event listener for the add button. So let's say add button, which is this green button. That's what we are adding now, so that we can be able to, whatever we type here, we can be able to add it by clicking this add. You feel me? So we'll say add button dot add event listener. Our event listener should be Blake. So we declare a function. Then let me add another comment here, which this function is the function to get the value. The value is the text we typed in our input. So that the value will be here from input field. So here we declare a constant and say to do text. We name it to do text and we say input dot value. So we trim it. So now, what do? We check if this input is not empty. If it's empty or not. So we check if the input is not empty. So if it's not empty, we will add we will not add anything else. But if it's empty, we can be able to add our value. Sorry, if the input is not empty, we will clear the input field. So if there is values, if there are texts here, we'll clear the input value for us to be able to add new value. You feel me? So how do we do that? We come here, I'll drop a comment or say check if the input is not empty. So this is how we do it. I will say if to do text, you are talking about the to do text. If there is to do text, then create a new to do item. If there is to do text, create a new to do item. That's if there is any text here. When I hit add, it will create a new to do item. You feel me? So when we come down, we will say if the input is not empty, we need to clear the input field whenever we add a new to do text. So we clear the input field and I'll say input dot value equal to empty. Now if I add anything here and hit add, this is supposed to be empty. You feel me? So now we need to add this text. We need to add this text to display here under this add button. But before that, we need to style the list items. So how do we do that? We come back to our index.html. We come here and say I'll drop a comment stylish to go item. So to start each to do item, I will say to do space L5. Now give it background. I'll give it background color of white. I will say border should be 1 pixel solid in gray. Then the border radius should be 4 pixels. Then the margin, press the margin button. Margin button should be 10 pixels. Okay. Then the padding should be 10 pixels also. The display should be flex. So let's justify the content. So it should be space between. Then the aligned items should be center. Okay. Let's come back to our JavaScript. So here, let's add let's take the delete button first. So we declare a constant, call it delete button. Then document dot create element. So document dot create element. What do we create? A button. It's supposed to come in our HTML and be the adding button just like this. We use JavaScript to create it. You understand? So we call the delete button constant. Delete button dot text content. The text that should be inside the button, just like this add that is inside this button. So the text that should be inside the delete button should be delete. Now the delete button class name, we add a class to it, just like this container, this class, this is a class name. So just like this container, that's what we are doing here. So delete button dot class name, it should be delete btn. So here we're done creating the button. Let's append the delete button. So to append the delete button, we say list item dot append sharp delete button. We have appended the delete button. Let's carry. So if you follow me to this point, please don't forget to drop a comment on the comment section, hit the thumbs up, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So the next thing you do is, okay, let's check if it's really working. Okay, it's not working yet. Now, what else do we need to do? Yeah, this is where I made the mistake. This is where I made a mistake. So that's why it's not working already. Feel me? So this is supposed to be input dot value. So this is input dot value. So when we add something here and it add. As you can see, we have our list. This is our list. So, but our delete button is not actually looking very fine. So what do? We come here to style it. So we grab the delete, let me copy it. We grab the delete class name, say dot delete btn. Delete btn should have background color of red, DC 3545. Okay, then we have border of now. Then it will have color of white. Then the border radius should be like 4 pixel. It's okay. Then the padding should be 5 pixel for left and right, then 10 pixel for top and bottom. 5 pixel for top and bottom, then 10 pixel for left and right. Okay, so then the cursor should be pointer, so that whenever we hover up the delete button, the cursor should turn to a pointer. So we, as you can see, it's now pointing, but we can't delete. We can't delete. So what else? I want whenever we hover on our button, the background color will be thickened. You feel me? So I will say, let me also drop comments here. Start the delete button. So here I'll drop another comment and say change the delete button color on over. Feel me? So I will say delete btn, then over. I will call the background color. The background color to change. CK2333. So if I hover on it, yeah, as you can see, it's dark green. So now let's delete. Let's add the functionality to delete our list. So we come back to our script.js. So let's add a event that can be able to make us delete our list. So we say delete button dot add event listener. Our event listener for the delete button should be click. Then we call another function. Then remove the list item from the list. So how do we do that? We just simply say to do dot remove child, for example. Then which child should be removed? That should be list item, for example. Now if I add anything here and hit enter, it's now added in our to-do list. If I click on delete, it's now removed. How is that? So awesome. So one more thing left. I need, whenever I type anything here, if I hit enter, I can be able to add the list inside here, just like the way we click on add, it will be added here. So I need, whenever I type anything and I hit enter, it will be added here also. How do we accomplish that? We come here and say, let me drop a comment. Event listener for pressing enter key. in the input field. So I'll say input dot add event listener. Now our event listener cannot be click anymore. Our event listener should be key press, because we are pressing a key, not clicking yet. So our event listener should be key press. Then in our function we have events like this. Now I'll drop a comment here and say check if the enter key was pressed. So let's check if the enter key was pressed. I'll say if event.key is equal to events.key is equal to enter. So if it's true, I'll trigger the add button. So I'll say add button dot click. That's it. So whenever we add anything like this, I hit enter, it's triggering this add button automatically. But when we hit enter, okay, so whatever we add here and hit enter, it adds. You can simply delete it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment on the comment section, and hit the thumbs up. So for videos like this, follow for more.